Hello there, welcome to The Damned. This is my new show about series of movies which have one or more bad movies within them. The first movies I'm going to look at is the Transformers movies, which actually have no good movies in the collection, but lots of bad ones. So I'm going to yap about these for a little bit. Okay, basically there are four Transformers movies. There's Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, Transformers Day of the Moon, and Transformers Age of Extinction. None of these tales make any bloody sense. They're all awful. Who cares? The movies don't make any bloody sense. So why should the titles? The problem with these movies is they're just terrible. They're just pretty much all of them are awful. All of them basically have a lacking in scripting and plot and direction and acting. Any kind of forward momentum. They just go on and on and on for no apparent reason. They just, things happen and other things happen and other things happen in the end. I mean, there are probably two sequences in the four movies that I actually think are good action sequences, and they both last for like 2 minutes in total, really. The first one is in Transformers 3 where some guys get a skydive in these sort of floating suits throughout Chicago, avoiding Transformers trying to fire at them. And there's a one in the fourth movie where the lead and the villain are fighting and jumping on top of these blocks of flats, and they're punching each other and they're almost falling off it. And those are the only two sequences in four movies where there's actual physical action and physical stakes. Because if the rest of the movies, people fall from high buildings, fall massive distances, and don't even pick up bruises. I mean, when that happens, you lose all sense of threat because they're just, they're basically things you can chuck against the wall and it'll be fine. They're just like toys, basically. It's a big movie about toys, literally, because the Transformers stand out as toys, but also the humans are like toys, they're like action men. You can just throw them against the wall, they can bounce, and you can play them anymore. Basically, Michael Bay is playing with his toys for four movies, and then they're doing a fifth movie, still playing with his toys. The movies are toy movies, literally, because there's no physics involved, and the characters speak in ways that no human ever would. They're just like cliches. They're total cliches. I mean, the human stories are always basically sitcom plots. I mean, they're basically, it suggests Michael Bay watched lots of sitcoms as a child, lots of bad sitcoms, because none of the jokes are very funny. They're just these like very cliched moments. I mean, for the first three movies, it's Shia LaBeouf and his family, and they're all very broad, acted very broadly. I mean, the guy playing LaBeouf's dad is a good actor in other movies, but he's terrible in this. The mother is way over the top. Shia LaBeouf is awful, gone off in all these movies. We're not quite sure if it's his fault because the character he's playing is a whiny pain in the backside who complains about everything. It's always someone else's fault. They keep on saying how brave he is, but he doesn't actually do anything. He just runs around and yells and blames everyone else. He's a terrible character. So I don't think anyone can really survive that character because the character's just awful. And Shia LaBeouf's not a very good actor in the first place. I mean, he was okay in Fury, but generally he's pretty weak. So that goes against the movies. The fact that all these stories that are just boring. They're just boring stories, and they always come back to the idea of beginning of each movie. It's the human element where you see Shia LaBeouf get his first car. The second movie is he's going to college. The third movie, he's going into the job market. But all that stuff's completely ignored after the first 20 minutes. They set it up, they have lots of bad jokes about it, and then the Transformers come in and they do some globe trotting and they blow up half the world, and that's the movie over. And then for some reason in the next movie none of that matters because he's still back to being a schlub who for some reason doesn't get any jobs because he knows the Transformers. He just tells him back into real life, which makes no sense. So it's, you're watching it, there's no connection because there's no actual reality to anything that's happening, and you can just watch and think that wouldn't happen in real. That wouldn't happen. It's not real life in this movie anyway, but it's like constantly to make things they want to do work, they have to do plot mechanics that make no sense. And that keeps on happening, so it becomes a joke. So that's the way it goes. It's they're bad, they're bad movies for any kind of plotting or any humour. They're just terrible. They're just these cliches that they throw at the screen. The best one's actually the fourth one. Not because it's any good, it's because it's actually bloody awful in every possible way. But it's so entertainingly awful. I mean, they cast Mark Wahlberg as the lead in the fourth one, they replaced all the cast and they did a new start, a new character. And he's kind of basically portraying his character as if he's in a remake of The Happening. If you've seen The Happening, Wahlberg's entertainingly bad in that film. It's the same in this one. Everything he says is funny as hell because he's perfectly miscast. He's miscast totally, but somehow it's perfect within this movie. Everything he says is funny, but it's not really meant to be. So he's one of those people like Nicolas Cage, if you miscast him properly, it can be really entertaining even though it's not what the director intended, but it can still be brilliant even though it's not really what they wanted. And that's the case here. It's really funny, it's really entertaining. Every time he comes on screen says something in a whiny voice, it's funny. Because everything he says makes no sense. I mean, there's nothing he says ever in this movie makes any sense. So he's pretty much stranded in this movie. So he just says these things, and you know he doesn't believe anything he's saying because he's just everything he says makes no. It's just stupid. But it's entertaining because I've cast him in, and I'm hoping he's back in the next one because if they keep doing this and giving these stupid lines, it's basically a whole part of the plot that's suddenly much more watchable. It's not because it's better written, it's actually just as bad as the other ones, but they've cast the right guy to carry it. And the fourth one, pretty much, it literally is Michael B. sort of coming up at midnight, he's playing with toys on screen because he just throws everything he's got at the screen constantly. After about 40 minutes of setup, which is funny because of the writing, he just throws any action scene, he throws everything, all his budget at it. He just throws everything at the screen. He has ships flying all over the place. He has spaceships flying through the cities. Anything you can think of, he'll put in the film. And it's funny as hell to watch because it's so entertaining because there's no restraint. I mean, no one said to him, maybe this doesn't make any real sense, why are you doing it? It's just like, go ahead, go do it. And by this point it's actually become funny because it's so wrong, but it's so right in all the wrong ways. So it's one of those films that it's objectively terrible, but it's so entertaining because it's nothing worse at all, but it's entertaining despite that. I mean, it kind of deserves its critical lambasting, but it's a guilty pleasure despite all that. The first three movies have elements of that, but because the Shia LaBeouf character was kind of dull and annoying, and he just couldn't carry through the big movies. It was just the character didn't work, and the actor didn't really work within that. They were successful because of Transformers, but no one ever went them for the human element. So you lots of scenes where you had to sit through it and things, just get to the robots blowing stuff up. And even then, they weren't ever that good. It's just by the time they got to the third movie, they'd given Michael Bay enough money to just go mad. And the fourth movie, they'd given me more money to go mad. So it became, as effects allowed me to do more, became more advanced. Plus the fact that he put a bigger budget at that point, he proved himself to be making movies that made money. He could go completely insane. And I kind of liked it when he went completely insane because that's the kind of Michael Bay stuff I like. I mean, he's never actually made a good movie. I mean, people say with the Transformers, like I remember when he used to make good movies, and it's like, he never made good movies. He made Bad Boys, he made The Rock, he made Armageddon. These were all bad movies. They were all guilty pleasure movies. They were fun, but they were never good movies. They were terrible, but they were really enjoyable despite the fact that they were terrible. I mean, my personal favourite is Bad Boys 2 because it's just so crass in every way. I could have to watch Bad Boys 2. It's indefensible as a movie, but it's fun. And the last two movies have gone back towards that, and Transformers, they just throw everything you can think of. Does it make sense? Nah, it doesn't matter. Just blow it up. Like they have stuff that makes no sense scientifically or even story wise, but it's fun because it's obviously just a fancy scene that in a movie. And he does it. And he shoots everything in slow motion and does everything over the top. And it's fun to watch. There's just no taste involved. The guy has no taste. But when he's allowed free reign to have no taste, it becomes entertaining. It's like, if you're going to go no taste, just go full on no taste. Don't try and be respectful, just go full on and do whatever the hell you want. It's when he tries to be respectful on board, but when he just does his own thing and doesn't care about anybody but himself and entertaining himself, that's really when you want to see his movies, because that's usually more fun. So the Transformer movies are all pretty awful, but the last two, Day of the Moon, which has one of the dumbest plots ever, and Age of Extinction, which has a really stupid plot too, are entertaining because they're they're basically 80-minute films spread to double that length, and they become entertaining despite that. It's just like these are the epitome of guilty pleasure movies. Although the first two I find the first two really hard to sit through because nothing really happens. I mean, first one is called Transformers. You spend like a good half of the movie waiting for the Transformers to do much. In the second half, they're fighting. Well, actually, it's the last third they're kind of fighting. You can't tell one from the other. I never understood why that got good reviews. It was awful and pretty dull for a long time. The second one has a bit more action, but not much more. It's very excessive, and it's the worst plot. And the last third is a lot of action, but you're never quite sure why anything's happening. It's like lots of pretty shots, but nothing. There's no build to any reason for anything happening, so there's no suspense. There's no nothing. It's like they destroy something to save the world, but it's like I didn't even know that was part of the objective of the plot until they blew it up because it was so hidden from what you were watching. It's like, oh, that's what that fight was about. The third and fourth movies doesn't matter at that point. It's just like they say we have to blow this thing up, and they destroy half a city to blow it up, and that's much more what you want to see because it's just like insane. It's stupid, but it's insane. But it's much more enjoyable because it's almost like the hand up. These are bad movies, but turn your brain off and have fun. The first two thinks they're, I don't know what they think they're doing, but they're they're just more boring. It's like I prefer it when it's more tasteless, you know. So that's the first episode of The Damned. I mean, we'll be talking in The Damned more about kind of movies that have good episodes and bad episodes. Like the next one I'm going to do is Indiana Jones, which has some really good films that I'll rave about, and there's one or two mistakes made. There's other stuff I'll be doing, like The Exorcist, which has some great films and some really bizarre films, and it also has a Rennie Harlin film, which is, my god. So that'll be a rant. So I'll be doing movies that have, you can praise some and rant with the others. So I'm hoping that this series will be fun because it's basically a bunch of movies I've been watching over the years. I'm going to start talking about them, about the good ones, the bad ones, and how a series can evolve throughout the duration. So I hope you enjoyed this first one. The next ones will be more of good movies and bad movies. This was just like terrible movie and terrible movie I kind of like despite the fact it's awful. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon.